What's up, everybody? I am here with my friend Jon from Winds of Plague. They're playing tonight, but I'm not here to talk to you about Winds of Plague. I'm here to talk about haunted houses.
Even better.
Yes, because this Plague Productions is your haunted house thing. And I'm going to ask you a lot of stupid questions because I don't know very much about this.
Okay.
But I think it's really interesting, and I think everyone else would find it interesting too. So
let's do it.
What is Plague Productions, and tell me about the haunted house thing.
So Plague Productions is pretty much a full-service production company. We kind of actually started more doing music videos. We did some stuff for Winds of Plague, of course, Devil Driver, Carnifex, New Year's Day. And then I ended up leaving my full-time job at Knott's Berry Farm, the theme park, but I was still consulting to them, and I needed a brand to consult, to have, I guess, to do the work under.
Yeah.
So Plague Productions was kind of the natural choice.
How long ago was that? Like 2 years ago or something?
2 years
ago
is when I made that official jump, I guess. And now we're doing work for all kinds of these big events all across the country.
So what would be an example of the kind of, when you say doing work, like what exactly do you do? Man. So I told you I was going to ask stupid questions.
Yeah. So everything from conceptual design through the technical design into the execution of the fabricating sets, set dressing, prop fabrication.
So like if I own an amusement park, I say, hey, we want to do something in Halloween. Can you make it cool? We have this much money. Is that how it works, or?
Kind of, yeah. We're kind of sticking to right now. We're sticking to the bigger clients, I guess. You know, that come in and they're hiring us to produce attractions. Yeah, so we're kind of coming up with the ideas and the design package, and we're working with them and their teams to kind of bring these things to life.
So are these like events or like attractions that last forever, or both, or?
Right now, both, I guess. Technically, we just did a project in Indonesia for a theme park that wanted a zombie laser tag haunted house. So we did 2 for them that are year-round permanent installations. So this is your actual job, is you made zombie laser tag. Somebody paid you to make zombie laser tag. And it wasn't the first time.
You're the zombie laser tag guy.
I am I guess that's my niche now.
How did you, I was not even aware that this was like a thing. I mean, I guess I knew people did this, but I wasn't really aware that this was a thing. When did you kind of realize you could do this?
So my whole thing started when we were touring with Winds of Plague, and I had this gap of time off, and it happened to land in October. And I thought, I had a couple friends that worked as monsters, so I thought I'd go try that. Thought that'd be fun. And
was this at Knott's?
This was at Knott's, yeah. And I got a job as a delinquent punk rock zombie, of course. And it was really fun. And from there I got more into the behind the scenes and the production. And then it just kind of we reached this nice tipping point when the band kind of was slowing down, and then this was kind of ramping up, and it just kept going. So now the band we're out here on the road as a hobby,
right?
More so, and I'm at home building haunted houses for a living.
Well, now you've got a family, so being home is definitely a good thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. The family makes it very hard to tour.
Yeah. So what is your exact role in these things? Are you like the creative director? Or are you the everything director? Like, you have people that help with like the construction side of it, or how does this all come together? It
kind of just depends on the project, but for the Plague Productions, I'm the owner and creative director. And then when we get out into the field, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm the creative director across the board, but our I guess role in each different attraction varies.
Got it.
Maybe. So sometimes it's just the design side.
So they might have a concept for it already and kind of have a few ideas of, we want a zombie that chews your arm off over here, and they want a killer plant
like the Queen. The Queen Mary hired us, and they already had 6 mazes. And they're basically just kind of asking us to kind of give them a fresh take. So kind of take what they already have and kind of build upon that. And then like Knott's Berry Farm will hire me without anything, just kind of a blank space, and be like, what's the best concept you think can go into these spaces? Then I'll pitch them a couple different concepts. They'll sign off on one, and then we kind of get to work with the design.
I think this is so cool because I'm like really into, I guess, like really niche businesses that other people have no idea that you can make a living at it. And there's probably only like, I don't know, a couple dozen people that do make a living at it. But if you can be one of those people, it's pretty awesome. Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty wild. And I'm always impressed with how large this small industry is. But it's like $1 billion industry, like Knott's Berry Farm, the theme park. They make enough money in that 1 month during their Halloween event to run the park the rest of the year. I mean, it's definitely their breadwinner,
right?
And I think that's kind of the case for a lot of these places. Like you'll have these independent haunts where they're open for 6 weeks and they're making millions. It's pretty incredible.
It's like they're big. They just put so that must be a lot of pressure on you then, knowing that this is like kind of their one big swing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I've had a lot of success with my designs, and I feel that pressure every year to keep. I don't ever want it to kind of fizzle out, but I'm starting to get a little more confidence now because it's been a couple of years, consecutive years now of delivering for people, and I think that all just comes down to the passion that we have for it and the hard work and going, those extra miles, working 16 to 20 hours a day to make the best possible product for people.
And it seems like you kind of came out of the gate pretty strong with this thing. Am I wrong? Have you fucked anything up along the way, or?
I'm sure I have, but I think we do a pretty good job of hiding it.
No real big fuck ups and.
No, I mean, what do you think there's some stuff like experimenting when I first started. So originally I was at Knott's and I felt like I hit the glass ceiling there. So and for me, like that's the hardest position to be in is up against the ceiling. So I was like, all right, I got to move. So I left and I started another event at a paintball park, and that was just chalk it up to a learning experience. It crashed and burned pretty good. But I learned a lot from it, and from there, Knott's ended up calling me back to come work for them again now as a designer. So that's how I made that jump up the ladder.
Isn't that funny how that works? Like sometimes you got to walk away for people to see your value.
Yeah, no, and I think that's 100% it. Just got to take those chances and just have faith in it. But I feel like even there's anytime there's a risk, there's always that fear, but I think that's the only way you grow.
So what do you think enabled you? This seems like maybe, again, I'm stupid, I know nothing about this, but it seems like there's a lot of moving parts and seems like you could fuck it up pretty easily if you don't know what you're doing. But you've had success pretty much right out of the gate. What do you think set you up for success like that?
Well, I mean, I think it's easy to say success right out of the gate, but really I had been working at Knott's behind the scenes for about 8 years before I guess I left the gate. You know what I mean? And like Knott's is a world-class event, so I think I learned a lot there, and I learned how to do it the right way. And then being able to apply those to other events and also keep taking little bits and pieces from all these different projects I'm working on, it has really strengthened me as a whole. And I think I've gotten a lot of experience that you can't get any other way other than going out and doing it.
Right. So you mentioned something earlier that I thought was interesting, just kind of about seeing that the scene is bigger than you would have thought. I'd be interested to hear more about that, because it sounds like there's people doing this all over the country. I know sometimes you go to these conventions and talk. Like, how big is this thing? How many people are doing this?
Jeez, dude. So I think my first eye-opening experience is I went to a Halloween convention in St. Louis called Trans World Halloween and Party Expo, and I remember thinking, okay, whatever. I remember I met a guy down in the lobby, and I had a Knott's Scary Farm shirt, and he goes, "Oh, Knott's Berry Farm is badass. I do a farm haunt too." I'm like, okay, I guess it is what it is. And then I stepped out onto the show floor, and it was just like, I've never seen a trade show or convention like that.
I mean, the pictures I've seen of this, there's a lot of people there.
I mean, yeah, thousands of vendors alone, plus all the people that are coming together, and it's almost overwhelming. Like, it takes 4 days to walk that show floor and try and take, these are all the people that are selling all the different props and animatronics and masks and costumes, and then you have other design companies and all kinds of stuff, and that was pretty incredible. And then through the band, we've been touring, and I always reach out to all these local haunts, and we get, and a lot of times they'll let us come see their stuff, and it's just incredible how amazing and big some of these independent attractions are. I mean, $1 million attractions out in the middle of nowhere.
How much crossover is there? Like, how many people are fans of the band? How much crossover? It seems like metal and horror and stuff kind of really go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit. But what I've noticed about the hunter community, if you will, it's very, very diverse, all across the board, all different walks of life. And there is a good amount of the metal community there, but nothing substantial.
Okay,
but,
interesting.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Interesting people. We were just talking about this. There should be an entire documentary series on the different personalities behind people that own haunted houses.
If anybody from Vice is watching, yeah. I think that is a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it's man, we all have some pretty crazy stories visiting.
What are some of the kind of different types? I could imagine, is there like a basement serial killer segment of this?
Yeah, no, we've gone to haunts like out in the middle of nowhere in Texas where we literally thought we were being taken out there to be murdered. And then you know there's the good old like farmer boys out there doing their haunts. There's big like Christian groups that do haunted houses. There's the corporate side of it. It's all over the board.
I mean, I guess now that I think about it, you know, how many haunted houses or, you know, events like this are there at Halloween in any major city everywhere in the country? There's dozens of them. Right?
Yeah, they're just saying like Ohio is like the #1 concentration of haunted houses in a state. There's like over 100 in that little state alone. It's like 140 something.
And there's, you know, a dozen or two people that work on every one of those, and you know, it's a lot of people when you do the math.
No, yeah, and I mean every major theme park has an event, you know.
Yeah. So. Well, tell me, what's your vision for what do you want to do with this? Do you want to like be the kingpin and dominate this whole thing? Do you want to keep doing a little boutique thing, or what do you want? Where do you want to take this?
I think for me, I just want to be able to, financially, the Plague Productions company is doing very well. I want to get to a point to where I can employ all my friends to keep doing this and being able to just travel around and work on at all these different locations. And I don't really know if I have like a set plan. I'm just kind of enjoying the ride right now and building some cool stuff.
Cool. Well, there you go. Now you guys know all about the world of we call them haunts?
Haunted attractions.
Haunted attractions, okay.
Haunted attractions, yeah.
You guys learned all about the world of haunted attractions. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm really happy to see that you are doing this because it's awesome. And, you know, I just realized, I think we probably met almost 10 years ago now, which is a long time. Time flies. So it's cool.
And we still have our flat brim hats.
That's right. Some things never change.
Nothing's never changed.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Man. And yeah, there you go. You guys know all about haunted attractions now.